Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action. Hey guys, this is Dan from the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel, and I am joined by Scott and Rob, and we are here to review Extreme Rules 2021. And at the moment, it sounds like there is more extreme stuff going on in Rob's throat than there was on the pay-per-view last night. Rob, have you finished?
I just choked on my coffee. I'm sorry. I was like, right, get it out before the pay-per-view, before the light starts. And I could feel my eyes watering. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to cry on the stream. I'm good. I'm good.
You think the show was that bad that you got to cry already?
I'm fuming. There's certain things I need to tell you about, but we'll get there. But I'm annoyed.
I can imagine why as well.
Well, as we digest everything, I still don't think I've had enough time to digest certain issues. However, we move. But I've got stuff to say.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, obviously, I didn't join you guys for the pre-show thing. I was tucked up in bed as per usual on them things. So just want to say thank you guys for keeping the show on the road, and yeah, hopefully you didn't mess my rhythm up too much.
It was good. Yeah, it was a good show. We had a lot of commenters. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining us, and everyone that's come back for this as well, live and on demand. It's always a pleasure. So yeah.
And so, yeah, shall we go and get straight on into the show?
Let's go.
So, we went on to the kickoff show, and that was Liv Morgan taking on Carmella. Bit harshly, really, bumped to the kickoff show, this one. Yeah, what did you guys think of this? I'll be honest, I didn't watch the kickoff show, so it's down to you guys.
I did watch it. I did do some of my traditional cooking during it, and that was fun. It was a really good meal. But I did watch the pre-show as well. Managed to see the match at least. I mean, it's just a bit weird, the whole promo of Carmella going, "I'm hot, you're not hot." What a weird storyline. And then Liv just attacks her. And then obviously that whole thing about the trying to, I think it was they're trying to act like she got her nose busted up or whatever, putting her. It was a weird move, she had her feet on her and I pulled her in and pushed her forward onto an announce table, wasn't it? Which was a cool spot. I did like it, fit in with the storyline, even if the storyline is a bit of a strange one. She got a big pop when she hit her finish and got a win. So I think it's what we all expected. I think we all predicted Liv Morgan, didn't we? So
yeah.
And I think for all the reasons we all said on our previews, is why she won. And yeah, so for me, good decision, creative wise, and an inoffensive match. It was just a decent pre-show match, as we always say. And did what it needed to do, and in this case, it was to get Liv over. And I think it was almost like she'd won a title the way the fans went. So, be interested to see what happens if she does win a title. But yeah, a good first step on that road at least.
Yeah. First question: What was your pre-show food? Because you have to tell us. It's like a tradition.
Yeah. Well, it was. What did I have? I put some chips in the fryer, a bit of peri salt on it. And then I had a cheese deep pan pizza and some fried chicken with a bit of buffalo sauce. Very nice. Very nice. And my mouth's watering now that I'm thinking about
and mine.
Woo! But it was very good.
Good. So other than that, so I went to bed and couldn't sleep, so I ended up watching the whole of the pre-show. And so my first criticism. Did anyone else watching the watching on demand or live? Did anyone else have subtitles continuously through the whole Newman? I clicked on the settings, went to CC, they were off. Why were they still on? Oh man, it was driving me crazy. I restarted my
Yeah.
Xbox about 3 times thinking I've done something wrong.
That's what I was going to say. Was you on Xbox? Because the only people I saw mention it online where there's a bit of like clarity was people saying it was on Xbox. Someone even said on one of the tweets, like, try it on Edge. Mate, Edge is awful to use, especially on the Xbox. So
Yeah.
I wasn't even risking that. So yeah, was it there for the whole show for you? It was there the whole
No,
show.
I'm so glad that it stopped when the pay-per-view started. But I was like,
mine
I
was
can't
there
watch
the
this.
entire show. The entire show. I had subtitles. And
so yeah,
Peacock had a terrible thing as well, didn't they? Did you hear about Peacock where they had the
Yeah, it was
Spanish
flipping to
and
Spanish as well. Yeah,
announcers at the same time? Mad.
yeah.
So yeah, not a good tech pay-per-view.
No. I mean, if you're learning Spanish, but you kind of, you only get that Spanglish, it's half English, half Spanish. You were laughing because you got best of both worlds, as a Mexican.
I guess so. Yeah.
But yeah. But but the pre-show, do you know what? The match, I really enjoyed. Why was this not on the main show? Because I actually really enjoyed it. It was a decent match. It done what it needed to do, which was get Liv over. They had great chemistry. There wasn't any botches that I can see or that I watched. Granted, I was tired at the time, and as UK time, it was about 12:30.
Yeah.
However, man, what a solid match and a great way to put Liv over. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she does next, because whoever she goes against next is really going to help elevate her again. So honestly, I need to see her in the title picture in the next few months, because it's now starting to happen. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's in her future now.
I mean, do you think that if they didn't have Big E as WWE champion, that maybe that match would have actually opened the show? Because I think, gone on the kickoff show, because you can't really be putting your WWE champion on the kickoff show. But then, to be fair, I think, I honestly would not put anything past them at this rate. But,
and even if, Lashley would still be involved, and even if the title was complete, be a bit weird having him on the pre-show as well. So, and technically New Day's kind of like reunion sort of thing. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get into that in that. Another thing on the pre-show, though, I thought was quite cool. I don't know if you guys saw, was Charlotte's arrival. I love a limo arrival. I think they're always interesting, especially reminds me of the old days. You'd always get them. But Charlotte showing up in this crazy limo that had doors that opened up all like this, a bit like a
suicide doors, isn't it?
A bit of Titus O'Neil doors there. It's sort of like the DeLorean, I guess. They open up at the side.
They're called suicide doors, isn't it?
Are they?
Yeah, the ones that lift up on the side. Yeah.
No, they're ones that open the other way. No, they're the ones that open the other way round.
What are they called? Someone comment what they're called. That's going to bug me.
They're called Titus O'Neil doors. We've said it. They're called Ura doors.
Yeah, Ura doors, yeah.
Ura doors.
Right, we're going with that.
Doors opening from the top. Let me see.
That's such a vague thing to Google.
Let's have a look what they're called.
I'm on
they are
tenterhooks.
called. There we go. They are called gull wing or falcon wing doors.
It's a bit long.
Oh, falcon wing sounds better.
Ura
doors, yeah. Ura. That's spelled, for anyone that wants to Google it, that's OORAH.
Yeah.
Ura.
All caps.
Yeah. With one exclamation mark at the end. That's important.
Of course.
But yeah, so talking of exclamation mark, let's put the exclamation mark on Bobby Lashley's title reign, which is over. Big E, obviously, new champion. Congratulations. So he went into a match as WWE champion alongside his New Day buddies, taking on the team of AJ Styles, Omos, and Bobby Lashley to kick off the main show. No fancy graphic for that one, because this match was so last minute, they couldn't be bothered making one. So, so good opening to the show, I think. Really, really so happy for Big E, winning the title and stuff. And this new, absolute, beast that Bobby Lashley seemingly has become now is just, it just seems like he's found another gear as building up as a challenger for Big E. And I think obviously with MVP now, we know that he definitely has had surgery, so he is going to miss a little bit of time. Be interesting, obviously, to see, you know, whether they're just going to have Lashley just plow through everybody now and win the
That's what I'd
title.
like
I think.
to see. Yeah, Lashley just be angry. Like,
Yeah, I think as well the thing that's surprising me as well, and obviously Lashley saying about the whole thing of how Big E won the title, obviously cashing in Money in the Bank. It's like Lashley has a short memory, because does he not realize that the only reason he actually got the WWE title was because he helped The Miz to cash in Money in the Bank on Drew McIntyre, so then he could pick The Miz apart the next night on Raw?
yeah,
Forget that one, Bobby, don't you, mate?
You know, it's not uncommon for heels to be hypocrites, though, is it? That's the thing, I guess. If it was a good guy, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, guys, no predictions on this one because we didn't even know the match. To be fair, I think they didn't even know this match was going to happen until probably like 10 minutes before the kickoff show. So, yeah, I mean, what did you guys think of this?
Well, yeah, I was going to say we found it strange, didn't we, that Big E just didn't seem to have a match, you know, after just winning the title. So I'm glad they got him on the show. The match itself, really good. I really did enjoy it. It was, like you said, Dan, it was a good way to open it up. Ironic, though, that, you know, Lashley could have had his own team. He didn't have to team with AJ and Omos. He had his own team ready-made that would have slotted into this perfectly well. But, yeah, that's another kind of annoyance about them splitting up the
Hurt Business.
Hurt Business, yeah.
I nearly said iconic. Sitting in catering, isn't it?
I nearly said iconics. That's the other thing we get annoyed about. But that's Rob's.
Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not the time.
Yeah, it's not the time. Right, yeah. So, but yeah, saying that, AJ and Omos, you know, they did quite well together in this match as well. Omos looked really good. He did a really nice spot with a front-facing suplex where he just looked like a beast. And I think it was against Kofi at the time. Kofi just, you know, playing the kind of like sympathetic guy. He's getting battered. It felt like a house show match. You know, we were talking last night about on the build-up show about our house show experiences and why we think house shows are really fun to go to, as opposed to, well, I mean, TV tapings are fun as well, but, you know, it's a different kind of feel. And that's what this felt like. It felt like a fun house show match where you wouldn't usually see Omos and AJ maybe with Lashley. But, yeah, I was happy with it. It made Big E look strong, which is, you know, again, what you need to do. Did anyone pick up, I think one of the commentators saying that it'd be the last time we'd be seeing New Day together?
Yeah, but that's because of the draft, isn't it?
But
I'm assuming they could split them up again.
To say that, like,
yeah.
I mean, well, technically, Big E. I think they said technically Big E's still a SmackDown superstar, and then the other New Day members are Raw superstars. So, I mean, I think the draft is only the draft starts on Friday, so it's going to be, you know, this Friday.
Anyway, yeah. And I just think, going on like the draft and the fact that they've kind of been split but not split, I think some people could look at what happened last night as a backward step for Big E. I like he's back in the New Day thing again. But I think we've, you know, kind of talked about this quite a bit already, but technically still being the New Day but not being together, like, it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm all right with him still being technically part of New Day. I think I just feel like some people might have looked at it as a step backwards, but...
Yeah, I think, though, it does work, like, having them across, like, the three brands, because I think they're so over as a team, so that, like, when they're apart, you still feel that, like, connection. Like, that even, like, on Raw and SmackDown, you still have what gear the Kofi and Xavier are in. Then Big E will kind of still try and tailor his stuff, and then pay-per-views, obviously, where they're going to be big, like, events with, like, both shows, then they've always got that option of like the interactions backstage and like, oh, you know, come and help us out tonight or make the saves kind of thing. But
is the reason they're wearing the Wolfpack stuff a bit of a nod to that, do you think, by showing that they're split on different brands? Because I thought, oh, they're just in a Wolfpack phase, you know, Xavier just like Scott Hall.
Yeah, maybe.
And I was thinking the other day, oh no, are they trying to be a bit like where like Wolfpack New Day and Big E's like Hollywood on his own or something? I don't know. I thought, yeah.
It seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't see him really with a blonde handlebar moustache, Big E. That would be a strong. That'd be a strong look, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think yeah. Overall, obviously they've got. I think that good dynamic, and obviously it'd be interesting to see what happens with the draft actually, because you know, obviously we've heard for a while now that Fox were not too happy, or USA, sorry, were not too happy that Fox was seemingly getting all of the big names and that. So, maybe one or two of them could move across and change brands. I mean, it'd be interesting to see maybe whether they shift the bloodline over to Raw, because, obviously Raw is meant to be WWE's flagship show, and at the moment the best stuff is being done on SmackDown. It's a 2-hour show, obviously more palatable. I've said that on numerous of my reviews of the shows. And go back and watch them if you've not already. Later SmackDown episodes. But yeah, it's just like sometimes Raw was just a chore to watch, and then but if they had stuff like this on, like the Bloodline stuff or the Uso stuff, and they've got those interactions and stuff as well with like Big E when he's interacting with them, it does really work well. And yeah, I think as I say, be interesting to see obviously what happens with the draft. So yeah. And so we now move on, talking of the Bloodline, to the Usos defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against the Street Profits. This is probably the final time that we were all correct with predictions, and then it all went downhill from there. So, yeah, all of us saying the Usos were going to retain. The Usos did, in fact, retain. What did you guys think of this one?
Yeah, this I really loved this match. I thought they were going to do a lot more in it, but what they done was enough, if you know what I mean. Like, I expected a lot more, but the fact that I didn't get what I expected and I got what they delivered, and I was really happy with how it went. Obviously, the winners being the Usos, still retaining. But what I really, really enjoyed was the fact that even though the Street Profits lost this match, how strong did they look at the end? Like, it took so much to beat them. And, like, especially when WWE is crying out for tag teams that are kind of already there, and like Usos, New Day, the Street Profits, there's not many. So the fact that the ones that are properly established and know what they're doing, and this is what happens when you've got a team that work together non-stop. Look how good the quality is. So why are we not pushing tag team wrestling more when we have these sort of matches? It's so confusing to me, and I really, really enjoyed it. There was, I don't know, I don't think there was anything wrong. The finish was great. The double super kick into going into the double Uso splash. And it was like they just couldn't put the Street Profits away until they pulled everything out of the bag, and that was the last result. But yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, going back to what you said. Sorry.
Go on, mate.
No, I was going to say, like, going back to what Rob was saying about, like, throwing together teams. I'm not a massive fan of, like, the throwing together teams. And you can always tell, like, the quality of the tag matches are significantly better when you've got the people that are working with each other, like, week in and week out, on obviously the house show circuits, and it's not just about that. It's like the Usos, obviously brothers growing up. You got people like, as you say, the Street Profits as a team, and then you go over onto like Raw, and then the New Day. They've been together now for ages and ages, and it's like, so sometimes it does work with some of these thrown together teams, but yeah, as you said, like, the chemistry is definitely there, and I think by starting with like a 6-man and then like a tag team match, it is showing that they do have the tag team talent there. It's just sometimes they just need to look at the division a little bit more, look at what they've got, and be like, we could make a bit more use of this, really. So yeah, sorry, mate, go back to you, Scott. Sorry, mate.
Well, actually touching on what you just said there, I think it's key that the Bloodline, or the Usos, are part of the Bloodline storyline, because if they weren't, you could probably get the same match and they wouldn't get as much time and freedom, I'd imagine. It'd probably still be for the titles, but because the Usos are involved in the Reigns storyline and it's important, it makes this match feel important, the titles feel important, and the challenges feel important. So I think it's been really well executed lately. They've worked really well together. Again, you see some of the typical things like Angelo Dawkins coming in for the save after Montez being battered for a while and whatever, playing the sympathy role. But then we did see things that well, I don't know if I've ever seen it before. The way Montez Ford dived outside the ring, but from the corner did the flip, didn't he? Which was like incredible to the outside. And Rob, you touched on the finish as well with the double super kick, and yeah, because he kicks out of a Uso splash as well. They had the double super kick and then the double Uso splash, which at the time as they got up there, I thought, they know what they're doing. But then I thought, wait, what if one of them does go, wait, am I going left or right? That could have gone really wrong. They could have both dived to the same area, I'm sure they had got in mind, I'll go this way, you'll go that way. But as soon as they were about to jump, I was like, I hope neither of them forgets which side they're going, because it's going to be flipping awkward if they collide in the air.
They're probably doing that with all the kids down the park when they were younger, mate.
Yeah, true. So. They've probably always been like, I'm left, you're right. It's always been the case. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like you said, Rob, I thought it was a really good match, and it highlights why tag team wrestling should be kind of used and featured like this. And I think we're lucky, and they're lucky at the moment, that they're involved in the Roman Reigns storyline. Otherwise, we might not be getting such a prominent kind of tag title match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's also as well, you got to think, would the Usos actually still be together as a team if they weren't in the Bloodline story? Because obviously with the DUI stuff, could there just only be one Uso in WWE? I think that's kind of helped them in that sense as well. Yeah. So yeah, and talking of someone who's a family and not going to shy away from a bit of controversy, Charlotte Flair taking on Alexa Bliss. Obviously, Charlotte's dad in the news recently. But yeah, so Charlotte Flair taking on Alexa Bliss. She did beat Alexa Bliss and in the process destroyed Lilly.
Shocker.
Shock, horror. And this was the first time that we went split on the predictions. Me and Lucas both saying Charlotte Flair. Well, Lucas said it probably about a month after all of us. And yeah, you two obviously went with Alexa Bliss. To be fair, I think I didn't even know this at the time, but I think what you guys really need to do is look at where Extreme Rules was. Oh, Alexa Bliss's hometown. She ain't going to win.
Right.
They don't have anyone win in their hometown. So, yeah. And apparently Bliss is going to be taking some pre-arranged time off now. Probably going to be a few months out to just rest up, recoup and stuff. So
do we think this is the end of the character?
Who knows?
It definitely could be the way they framed it at the end, but
yeah. Unless she comes back with another Lilly, a bigger, better version of Lilly. Who knows? Yeah. Double Lilly. Yeah, Lily's got a twin. Millie.
Millie, yeah. As for the match though, it started out as another example of another women's match from Raw where I don't know who the face and who the heel is, and that really took a bit away from me. Yeah, but I can't deny how well they perform again in the ring, character work and stuff like that. Really good. There was a really close spot where Charlotte did the backflip but landed on her feet and then did another as Bliss was rolling away, and that could have gone really wrong if the timing wasn't there. So that was very impressive to see. The Sunset Bomb always looks quite good when Bliss does that as well. And around this time when it was focusing a lot on Bliss's kind of characteristics and stuff like that, I genuinely, for the first time, thought, is Bray Wyatt's release a work? It suddenly hit me. Wait, what if? What if we've all been played? I feel because remember, he hadn't been on TV anyway. I don't think this is the case, by the way, but he hadn't been on TV anyway for a while. And if you think which kind of creative person, what kind of character would get away with maybe doing that and then doing a massive return when all these kind of releases were happening, people going to rival companies and whatever else, I started to convince myself, I could see that. I could see it. Just suddenly felt like maybe Bray could show up and either help or harm Bliss, considering what happened at WrestleMania. And I talked myself out of it pretty quick, but I couldn't help but fantasy book for about 30 seconds in my head of what if it all was a work? He was
tweeting throughout the show as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. So because he put up the picture of him and the Wyatt family against the Usos, was it, or something like that? I think
it was Daniel Bryan and
Daniel Bryan.
I think, was it the Usos?
It might have been Daniel Bryan and the Usos, yeah, which was a strange thing to put up. So, yeah, maybe that's why it was in my head. But I was just thinking, man, like, what if we've all been worked and he is going to come back and it's going to be like Super Fiend, almost like Super Lilly that we were talking about. But who knows? I don't think that is the case. But, yeah, it'd be interesting if it was. But, yeah, going back to the match itself, a good match. I think, again, both great performers. And it just... It was a bit strange, the whole Lilly thing. The thank you Lilly chants cracked me up. That made me laugh loads. But like, she was clearly meant to be foaming from the mouth, Alexa Bliss as well. You could see, because she did this thing like that, which I thought she was clearing her face because she was also crazy. And you know, sometimes she comes up with like a stone kind of cold face. You know what I mean? So I thought she was doing that to kind of like just boom. Comes straight out.
I thought it was like to release something, you know, like how she did the
blood,
like the black thing at WrestleMania. Yeah, so I thought she was doing something like that. But
I thought it was just like a kind of like character, like a acting, like a method thing to kind of switch to the next kind of facial expression. That's what I thought she was gonna do, like sort of like wipe the face sort of thing. But really, looking back, that's when she was putting that thing in her mouth. That didn't quite work.
Alka-Seltzer, yeah.
It looked like a massive chewing gum. She just
like one of those Trebor mints, wasn't it?
But yeah, sometimes that happens. You can blow little bubbles for that. So maybe it was just a Trebor mint that got stuck. But yeah, it was. I felt like a missed opportunity for me. Like I felt like maybe Alexa Bliss should have won it. If she was going away for a bit, then fair enough. But like I really didn't expect them to kind of seemingly end this part of her character. You could argue that it's been coming because of, again, the Bray Wyatt change. But a bit of a shocker for me. And like I was saying, it's weird. I think if we look back at this time, thinking that she never held the title, and I think as this version of Alexa Bliss, maybe she'll come back as it and she will win it, or maybe she's not going away. But yeah, it feels like a missed opportunity to me. And I do feel like, again, and then like Charlotte proper being a heel at the end. I know I guess you could argue she's been the heel for quite a while now, but she does these things like where I'm like, are you trying to get us to like you? I don't understand. And then Bliss as well. Bliss has been bad for the last few months, on and off, the Randy Orton stuff, the stuff with Bray Wyatt. Like, again, are you the bad guy? What's going on?
Yeah, I think that was my biggest issue. I think it's purely because the match was great. Also, I don't know, I might be wrong, but the moonsault into Alexa moving into the moonsault, is that a nod to Andrade? I'm sure he used to do that, right?
It feels like the kind of thing he would do.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen him do it in a match.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it was a great, like, nod to him. I mean, the match was solid. I can't really pull it apart, like, in negative ways. But there was little things about it that really irritated me, like the finish. Like, or after the finish, why did she have... It just felt like, right, you'd beat Alexa. You wanted Lexi back, who Charlotte was saying, who she wanted, the original Alexa Bliss. So she destroyed Lilly. But then, in my mind, okay, you've destroyed Lilly. So you've continued on the rivalry because now you've done something to affect her again. Like, do you know what I mean? It just, like, if you wanted it stopped, you should have just left it at that. It really confused me at the end. It was an unnecessary, like, thing. And it really confused me. I was like, all right. And then obviously, as you said, eating the massive tree ball mint.
I think it wasn't bad. It didn't fit now. Like, now I feel like the time to give it to Bliss. So, like, again, if this is the end of her character, destroying Lilly is the best way to do it. But yeah,
doing that, was she killing off that character by eating or whatever it was and poisoning herself to disappear?
Poisoning herself.
Oh, I don't know, man.
The commentators
WWE we're talking about.
But I think if it went well, the commentators would have drawn attention to it. I think it's because they were probably being told it's not going as well as it should. And they would have been like, she's foaming from the mouth, and they would have replayed that clip and whatever else. Because it works slightly. You can tell what it was supposed to be. But I think there's probably a bit of an audible where they were like, don't acknowledge it. And poor Alexa, she doesn't know. She's trying her best to kind of get it working. And again, some great character work from her as well, even if the props aren't kind of working the way they should. She still conveyed the emotion she was supposed to. So that was very well done. But I do think It was supposed to be more than that, and I guess it was just going to be a bit of a weird way to just show how angry she was, and they would have gone a bit more supernatural with it, going, "Oh my gosh, what's that coming from her mouth?" But yeah, missed.
Could have stuck in another mint, mate.
Yeah. I know that should have had fresh breath. So there we go. But yeah,
true.
We've got a comment in as well from Tom. Hi guys, wanted to get my request in for you all to flail around like fish Balor, please. See who does it best. Cheers.
We'll do that when the Balor match comes up.
Yeah, remind us.
We're going to talk about it.
Remind us a bit later on. That's a reason for you to stick around.
Yeah, competition
to see us all do that. So so they're moving on to a match that got changed on Monday Night Raw. Obviously, we had already predicted this match as a singles match. But Jeff Hardy was added into the mix along with Damian Priest and Sheamus in, I guess you could say, an Extreme Rules match, because obviously it's a triple threat. There's no disqualification. All three of us predicted correctly that Damian Priest would retain the championship. Lucas, obviously, who had the foresight of knowing it was a triple threat, still went with Jeff Hardy. What a plonker.
Well, to say that on the build-up, he did make a good case, and I did start to think, oh, maybe. But yeah, once the match started, it was weird because Jeff comes out, like we mentioned again, like last night, on to no more words, and
it's amazing having that song back.
Yeah, it just reminds you, like the last time he was there, he was the champ. Like, I know it was a long time ago. It was over, 11 years ago now, 12 years ago maybe.
Was that the 2009 run?
Yeah, 2009, and like there was
feuds with Punk and that as well.
Yeah. And then like you come back and the Hardy Boys, and there was some good stuff, and the return was amazing. But since then, it does feel like a bit of a waste of time. Like a lot of, and we talked about it a lot last night, so I won't go into too much about whether or not he'd stick around or fancy going elsewhere where he might feel the grass is greener. But it does. When you see it last night, it just weirdly reminds you of what Jeff could be and maybe should be still. Yeah, he's older and kind of like Edge, like he's still in the main event picture though. Like we don't want Edge in everything. I didn't want him to win the Rumble. I do want him to be featured highly at WrestleMania, but we've gone on about that loads. But Jeff's should be in that similar kind of spot to me, and the fact he's not is a real shame.
So what you're saying is Brother Nero's all elite, yeah?
Hey, I didn't say that.
Possibly.
But yeah, I mean the match though. Sheamus back in his mask. And saying Jeff, like he's still performing very well. He's not exactly like kind of just cashing his checks. You know what I mean? Like he took the Irish Curse backbreaker very well. He looked like Finn the Fish on that. And there was a few dodgy moments in though, like Priest when he reversed the chest punches to Sheamus, but he fell off the apron and then he got back on. I thought he handled that very well, to be fair. He jumped back on and it kind of got saved. But then a little while later, Jeff tries to reverse, I think, to Priest or the other way around, and they both just fall over. And it was like, oh, this is awkward. Quite unfortunate to have two botches in the same match. But other than that, like I thought it was a decent match. They had a good dynamic between the three of them. The sit-out top rope chokeslam from Priest was very cool. Broken up a pin by Jeff Hardy with the Swanton. I mean, why else you can have him a triple threat if you don't get to do that cool spot every now and then? So a lot of triple threat swerves. A roll up is not always the most fun way to win a match, but when it's a triple threat, I think it's, you can get away with it because there's so much exciting action going on. Yeah, you just like boom, 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 it's over. The other one can't get there in time, and there you go. So I thought it was a good match. A shame that we had a few botches, but yeah, overall, happy with it and happy that Priest is still the champ.
One other thing that I did like as well was the fact that obviously normally when you get a third person added to a triple threat, it's either that they're going to win or they're just there to take the pinfall.
Yeah.
But it was nice that they actually had what would have been the original match. So they had Sheamus obviously take the fall. Jeff wasn't just there to take the pinfall.
Yeah, so you could argue that they've basically been like, oh no, we're just going to use him. We just want to reward him with a nice match. So you could argue that they've done something good for Jeff there. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I really liked it. As you said, there was a couple of botches. It happens, man. Hopefully they don't like moan at Priest about it. They're just maybe it's one of those. Okay, like take him to the side. Do this next time. I mean, bearing in mind this is probably the biggest match of his career at this moment in time. Especially being the champion and having to defend it instead of like trying to go for it and challenge for it. Obviously, it's a lot for him, and that's probably the biggest crowd that he's performed in front of at the moment as well, probably in his career. So there is a lot of pressure on him. The fact that it was a
SummerSlam,
SummerSlam. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like where he was. But it was with Bad Bunny, wasn't he?
He was with Bad Bunny at WrestleMania.
Yeah. So it wasn't like he kind of had to lead with Miz and Morrison. So being on his own, I guess, and in a triple threat match, so much is going on. I guess trying to remember your spots and all that is a little different.
And they were basically slips. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to tell who was at fault with the Jeff and Priest one, but it is unfortunate that Priest was involved with both of them. I guess you can't help but think, maybe it's him. But, the one on the apron was a simple slip. The one on the other one, I'd have to watch back to see whose fault it is. But then it's not a big deal, is it? Right?
It happens, man. It happens. But I think the highlight of the match for me was getting to see Sheamus act like Jeff Hardy on the turn.
Wasn't it like half DX crotch chop as well?
And a little bit of
Oh, that was really fun. I love to see Sheamus have fun.
Yeah, because it doesn't suit him, and I think that's what's great. When he got up there and he started shaking, I thought, "Is he having a seizure?" I panicked for a minute. But yeah, and then he obviously dropped his knee, and I thought that's not bad, but good finish. I love the fact that I really enjoyed it. It was a roll up because just because you got three guys in the ring and you expect it to have like a big finish, the fact that it didn't have a big finish was more shocking.
Yeah, and it was bigger.
Yeah. So I was like, well, great for I nearly called him punishment again. Indy Mark. I can't help it. it. He should have kept that name, damn it. But yeah, Damian Priest retaining is great.
Yeah, and I think as well for the botches, obviously you don't want no punishment for Martinez. So
hey.
But yeah, obviously it wouldn't be a WWE show without a roll-up finish. So what's to be expected, really? It also wouldn't be a WWE show without a real schmoz of a finish.
Oh my god!
And that's exactly what we got in Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. Now, I am probably just going to get comfortable here and just leave you two to go on about this one.
Okay.
Because
so, Rob, are you aware what's happened with our points here?
Well, so hang on. So I watched this, right? And the match ended in a disqualification with Bianca Belair winning and Becky Lynch retaining, right?
No. Well, that's what a logical person would think. That's what I thought. When I first did the points, I was like, okay, you two are going to get... So
I might be through out of a finish here.
Right. Yeah. So, what happened? So, according to me, Bianca Belair won that match via disqualification because Sasha Banks came in and attacked her. Generally, anyone sitting on this stream now would know that's a disqualification.
Yeah.
But if you're WWE and you go to WWE.com's official results page, it's a no contest.
So
if we're going on that, then technically nobody won. So there's no points for me for saying Bianca won. There's no points for you two for saying Bianca won. And you also both lose a point for saying that there would be a disqualification.
All right. So I don't want to argue. Okay. I mean, I'm happy with points. However, if you didn't get a point and it was ruled, even though we were correct and we all agreed that it was correct and they saying something else, should we not have a minus? Because what we predicted was correct. So I think just having 0 points. Because, I mean, if they'd have put it as a DQ, we would have got double points anyway.
Yeah, so we went from having double points because we actually are right. We're right. It should have been a DQ. But really what we're predicting here is what WWE book. And there's a reason they've described it as a no contest because they don't want someone to seem the winner. So as much as I agree with you and it is absolute rubbish, like if we were predicting what basically, yeah, it's like if we predicted a football match and there was a goal given and it shouldn't have been given, but the fact is it was given. Do you know what I mean? So the ref would be wrong, but we're not predicting whether or not what the actual thing should have been. We are predicting what the final thing is, and sadly for us, which is really frustrating because we've literally gone from 2 points to -1. It frustrated me so much when I realized that that's how they'd done it, because like you said, like, she was hit first. It's a DQ, and usually what they do, they go up. Sometimes they do this where they go after both of them, and it's like, oh, it's no contest. But there was a clear gap. She attacked Bianca first, and then she went for Becky. So, did the announcer say that?
No, the announcer didn't say anything, because normally when it's a DQ, as soon as they come in and they hit someone, that's it. The bell would ring. The bell. I don't even think the bell rung.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's it. So it literally is the booking. They have booked it in a way that it wasn't a decisive winner, which is crazy. And what we are predicting is the specifics of it will Bianca will win, because we could technically say we shouldn't get a -point for it being a DQ because it still was a DQ, but we technically said with that, the reason why we're saying DQ is that she's going to win by DQ. So we doubled down on our prediction of a win with an explanation. So just if you're new here, guys, we have a prediction table, and it's very important to us, as you can see, my trophy right here. Now, I think I'm going to have to keep this one near and dear to me, because I don't think I'll be getting it this year with what's going on at the moment, especially with WWE screwing us over like this. It's not.
And now I'm extra angry because of the other match.
And that's what we're fighting for this time as well. So we're fighting for the new one.
Even bigger. But yeah, absolute joke. But hey, let's get into the match itself. I guess
I don't want to now. I've had enough.
Just quickly doubling down on that. What I generally do when I put the results into the table is I generally will do it as I'm watching the show. And as soon as Sasha came in and she hit Bianca, I literally put your points up as like 2 points each.
Because obvious, isn't it?
I was literally assuming. Because I thought it's a disqualification, but then it was only, and it stayed like that until I went on to WWE.com to see what the wording of it was, and the wording they said was no contest.
And that's it. If she had attacked Becky first, and therefore she lost DQ, but Bianca didn't win and didn't get the title, she was screwed that way. I'd be like, fair enough. We were close. She beat up both of them, but she went to Becky first. Fair enough. You know, that's not the decision we chose. It's a risky thing to do. That's why it's a bonus point. But the fact they literally did it the way we said, but didn't call it the way it should have been said and actually was mad. And I went on Twitter and I searched the words Bianca Belair DQ just to see what people said, right? Other people would notice this. And it's mainly people saying Bianca Belair won by DQ or like Wrestling Sheets, their websites with the results. Bianca Belair won by DQ, because everyone's assumed the same thing until you read the thing, which, and again, it screws us over. So it's not, I don't want it to be the case, but it's good that Dan did check it, because it's, hey, we got to know the truth and we've got to know what it really is. And the truth is WWE don't know what they're doing when it comes to referee decisions.
I think what they just need, it's like we always say with football refereeing, they just need consistency. So if you're going to say that if somebody gets attacked in a match by an outside person, then that match is a no contest. And
it's easy to be consistent when it's a script. It's made up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes, you might accidentally do a free count because someone doesn't get a shoulder up in time. Yes, things can go wrong with injuries and you have to call it like that. But there are, and I know this isn't the referee, is it? You know, the referee didn't decide this. It's the creative.
It's the geezer that's in the referee's ear roll.
Like, that needs to be consistent. It's the same as a few months, last year when we were annoyed that Bayley could suddenly become a ref because she can put some stripes on. That's not how special guest referees work. Well, they shouldn't be, at least. But yeah, we could have a whole lot about this.
Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Like, do you think it should have been ruled as a... I mean, we obviously know it should have been ruled as a DQ.
There's no question about it.
I think the question should be, should we go on a -1 or should we just have no point? Because it's not like we predicted wrong of what was going to happen. We always, me and you said
we predicted the result. I know what you mean, man. But technically, we have to be fair, because there's other times where this kind of thing's going to happen as well, where technically this was that. So I think in order to be fair, we have to just say, like, take it on the chin this time. It sucks because we've gone from gaining 2 to losing 1. It's really going to mess us up in the long run, I think.
Now I know what Arsenal feel like.
Like you need to honestly, like it was literally for me this morning. I had to go to like VAR, go and check the monitor.
It's
to make
crazy.
Sure.
It is absolutely crazy. Because again, technically we did say
I gave the goal
right in that sense.
Yeah,
but you're taking it away.
Unreal.
But we're wrong into why we said it. And we said it because really, the reason why we chose it is because we said WWE would want Bianca to win, so she looked strong, but didn't lose. That didn't win the title. That's why, truthfully, that's what we were predicting. There was Bianca was going to win, but she's not going to get the title. And they kind of did do that because she didn't lose, but they messed us about.
I literally just Googled Bianca Belair DQ, and the first 6 things that come up: Becky Lynch retains women's title via DQ. Becky Lynch retains title by DQ. Bianca Belair defeats Becky Lynch by DQ.
And that's it, because again, I could say like technically it was a DQ, but it wasn't. It still wasn't. It's just a no. Like the match didn't happen, did it? They're just like the match didn't. It's
WWE.
I mean,
Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair goes to a no contest.
Yeah,
if their record shows that it's a no contest, it's no. There's nothing that can be done. However, just for our record, me and Scott were right.
We were right. Yeah, but this is it. We got to keep this in mind about future things now. Like, yes, they could mess it up. Like, so we have to really be careful with these kind of things. Like, just because we were exactly right. She'll get hit first, therefore she's DQ. Anyway,
do you know what I'm more annoyed about? You talked me into putting down a bloody bonus point, so this is your fault.
Did I? Sorry.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So I'm even more irritated now.
Because then
let's talk about the match.
Yeah, let's get into the actual match itself. Lasted a bit longer, didn't it?
a little bit longer than last. We mentioned on the build-up show our experience watching these two face each other at the house show, and we knew it was in for a good ride when we saw that kind of chemistry they had together. I thought Becky played her role very well, being like quite funnily dazed when she was selling the turnbuckle hit. Also going out to Michael Cole and saying, I'm not saying that, like calling out Michael Cole, basically speaking for her, which I thought was hilarious. Again, plays a heel role very, very well. And then you had that weird kind of like top rope famouser through the outside and all that kind of stuff. It was an enjoyable match. I think some people might be let down that there weren't a decision. And like when you think about it, we got what happens in the main event. We've got what happens here, where there's no contest. And we've also got a roll-up. So, I can imagine some people are annoyed with too many weird finishes happening. But I guess a lot of them kind of made sense within their own storyline. So I'm not too annoyed about it in that sense. But, again, Becky looks strong. Bianca looks strong. Sasha's back, which is a bit weird. I don't know why she's been gone, but how many times over the past 2 years has she suddenly just dropped off the face of the earth and then come straight back? It kind of feels, how many more times can we be like, oh, she's back? Without thinking.
Every time it's not been an injury either.
Yeah, and again, fair play. Like something might be going on that's personal, and that's absolutely fine. I just mean from a kind of entertainment value point of view, it is tough to be like, oh, she's back, when it was like, yeah, but she was back a little while ago as well, wasn't she? So, and especially she's coming in as this heel, and I'm back, and it's like, but why were you gone? Even if it's story, just give us a storyline thing. I don't need to know her personal life. That's absolutely fine if there is something personal with it. But give us a storyline reason for it, rather than just being like, she's back, and expecting us to be like, oh, okay, cool.
What they're going to do now is every show now they're just going to have Eric Bischoff's music play. I'm back.
Yeah, every time Sasha returns.
Yeah.
Because every 2 weeks.
That was mad. The match was great. I think the moments and spots that they've done, obviously I really enjoyed. The fact that we got to see it at the O2. I think what I really enjoyed though was we got to see it at the O2, so we got to see like not a polished match, but as close to, due to the fact that this one had a bit of a booky finish, but regardless of that, it was so good, and the chemistry, you can tell they've got great chemistry, and they've been doing this circuit for however many weeks it was, and that. But I really enjoyed it. They had great chemistry. They fit really well, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be a triple threat match next, because it seems like that's the way it's going to go. But possibly, you never know. However, my only criticism is that Sasha returning outshines how good the match was. as always. You know, it was like with the AEW stuff, the whole pay-per-view that we watched was great, but Adam Cole coming out and then Daniel Bryan coming out outshined the rest of the pay-per-view because it was such a more iconic moment. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, I really enjoyed it. And I think the fact that Sasha attacked both of them solidified herself as a heel. Does that mean that now that Sasha's the heel, Becky's gonna go face? Or
I think it'd be a good idea to take them both out of the title picture and let Becky do something else. Because, like, for me, Bianca's thing is kind of, let's just build her up in another way. Don't ever get her title back because, again, that's why I didn't want her to win it this time around because I think it would have defeated the purpose of making her lose in 26 seconds. Just make it all feel for nothing. So let's just do something else with her, build her back up. That grudge feud with Sasha, they didn't like each other anyway. Becky can face someone else and clear up whether or not she's a face or heel, or really knuckle down on the heel stuff, really, because, I mean, she is a heel, but it's just some people still can't help but cheer her. Fair enough. But, yeah, let her do that. Let the other girls go off and do their thing, and then one of them, hopefully Bianca, come back into the fold with whoever's champion after that next Becky Lynch thing. But I do have a feeling it is just going to become a triple threat feud, which again ain't going to be terrible, is it?
Yeah. And again, don't forget draft as well. So shift around. So
did anyone check out Bailey's tweet of when Sasha come out? And it was something like, "Oh, she irritates me," or it was something along them lines. So Bailey's still playing to the fans is brilliant on Twitter. It's like Big E's Twitter account. She's injured, isn't she?
Yeah. I think she's done her knee quite bad, so she had to have surgery and stuff.
She's like 9 to 11 months off in it. I think that's how long she's going to be off.
I think they reckon that maybe WrestleMania next year at a push.
Which is such a shame after the crazy year she had during the pandemic era, how much she carried the show and then wasn't used on Mania.
And ironically, it was meant to be
Bianca, Becky, wasn't it?
Bailey Becky was meant to be the match at Mania as well.
Would have been good.
So, and then we're coming up now to the time, obviously October, around the time when Becky was actually due to return as well, because they said around like draft time was when she was going to be, like they'd initially planned for her to come back. So obviously we now, I guess, will see what they would have initially had planned if they had gone ahead with stuff, but who knows. I'd like to see actually Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan would be a decent enough feud to obviously build Liv up. Just please don't move. I think as well, if you're going to stick with those four, like you guys saying about the triple threat stuff, is just try and keep that core group of women on SmackDown because they'll just get lost in the shuffle over on Raw.
I think, do you know what else as well? And I don't mean to put this to one thing, like, or one person, but if you've got, let's say, for example, Liv, Sasha, Becky, and Bianca Belair on SmackDown, right? As a core four, they're great together, and no matter what happens, one of them they'll all have name value. You send Liv Morgan or Bianca Belair to Raw with Charlotte Flair, they're not getting attention.
No,
because of how strong they push Charlotte.
Yeah, look at Asuka
exactly, and I think that's the biggest issue. And I think that's the biggest problem.
I don't think I've seen. Is Asuka even still? I literally had to just check that Asuka is actually still with WWE.
Is she injured?
I was like, no.
I know she's injured. I think yesterday she tweeted something.
It was her birthday, wasn't it?
Birthday, that was it. So
they said like she had some dental work done because when her teeth got knocked out, so she's had them pretty much done. But that's about the only surgery she's had done. But So should we go on to the main event?
Let's do it.
So so for a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules, we do finally get an Extreme Rules match. It was Roman Reigns taking on the Demon Finn Balor in the main event. Obviously, Roman Reigns, this current iteration of Roman Reigns, has not been beaten. Neither's the Demon Finn Balor. On the main roster, he's been quite well protected. But yeah, guess like as they say in boxing, someone's O has got to go, and it was the Demon who was defeated in this. Rob, you had a bit of a stinker on this one as well.
Look, I don't care about the
contest
point.
On the wrong match, mate.
I don't care about the point. I care about the booking, and damn it, it was bad. Oh, Don't.
To be fair, I said no contest initially before it was an Extreme Rules
you changed
match.
the Romans. Yeah, and you said it would be hard to do it that way now. That's a good point.
Basically, that my whole thing was the fact, obviously, that it's now a Extreme Rules match. It's like, how the hell can they do a no contest?
I mean, they've done it a no contest in a Hell in a Cell match. So my thinking was, if they've done it before, then, why wouldn't they do it again? But, I've got issues. I've got so many issues.
And the thing is, so I gained my point for Roman winning, but then I lost it instantly because I bonus pointed to say that Brock Lesnar would be involved in that finish. So even though I got the prediction correct with Roman winning, I get nil points, pretty much what the UK get every Eurovision. So, yeah. So
that makes me feel a bit better about the last one now.
Yeah.
However, I'm annoyed. Who's jumping in first about this? Because
you've got
Tommy is actually.
What's that? What was that? That's a firefly. Bray's coming back.
We are failing. Okay, all right. Well, should we do that first before? No, we'll do that after because you've got some ranting to do. So I feel like you're going to get in a bad mood. So to get you out of a bad mood, with some great psychology work, yeah, we're going to do the flaming competition after because that'll be fun. Yeah.
All right.
So come on, let's put yourself in a bad mood for entertainment purposes. Let's do it.
Let me do my.
Commit to your craft.
Has anyone got a tree ball mint for a minute? Just right. The match itself, great. Okay, and then we get this moment where Finn's laying on the floor. He flops around like Magikarp from Pokemon for a hot second. His heartbeat goes on. His music plays, and we've got a red light. I'm thinking, okay, this is new. This is great. He looks strong and solid.
Mate. Cheers, bye.
No worries. I'm here all week. He looks solid, right? Now, at this moment, to me, Finn Balor, the demon has officially risen in Finn Balor, and he is undefeatable, right? He's indestructible. He does all this stuff, gets on the top rope, and it explodes, and now he's hurt. So you're telling me he goes through all that pain, he rides it up again, and then falling onto a canvas, which he does every day, is the reason why he loses. No, it does not work. I'm not having it. That is by far the worst decision I think I've seen in a very long time. I would take the Hell in a Cell no contest over this decision, and that was bad. That was bad.
What is it with the demon in Universal title matches? Because he did his shoulder as the demon in the Universal title match when he became first ever Universal champion, and now he's had this.
Hey, I might be a bit controversial here, but I didn't mind it.
Go away. Get out of the stream. Get out. Leave.
What everyone said online since I see that I might be in the minority here. But
you want me to remove him, Rob?
Yeah.
Just get me out.
All right. See you later.
My heart went. What's going on?
So did Finn Balor.
Okay. There's my preview. Right. No, look. I tell you what. It was silly. It was stupid. It was hokey. I understand what you said. I completely agree with you, mate. Like, if he's going to rise, why can he not suddenly rise again? That is my problem with this kind of supernatural crap, is if you do it, why can't it be done here? Why, I can suspend my disbelief. That is my problem with it. Like, I can suspend it for a bit. Undertaker can do lightning bolts, whatever. But then, like, straight away, if Undertaker was in a predicament where the only thing that could get him out was a lightning bolt and he forgets how to do it after doing it 10 seconds earlier, yeah, that would annoy me. So, like, if you're going to do it, kind of be consistent. So I agree with you there. It was right. Well, that is right. But what I did like about it was that it was although it was hokey, it was fresh and it was something I hadn't seen before. So I liked, this is just what they do now. They do. I don't like this kind of, the cinematic stuff. Like we joked about the garbage compactor or whatever, like Star Wars type scene we saw with Street Profits and Viking Raiders, all the crap we saw over that period, which is just too far. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but at the same time, like within that world, like they are doing Alexa Bliss nonsense, and I can appreciate her character work in it. So here I'm going to say, you know what? This ain't the wrestling world I like. But we're in a different period now. They clearly are okay with doing this stuff and pretending it's real and whatever else. So if you're going to do that, and I see it in a kind of production sense of the film, the way he rose up was cool. It was strange that his music carried on playing, but a bit lower. I was like, okay, is his music still on? Then him getting up there. Now, this did look a bit weird that he was very slow. I was like, why is he so slow? And he didn't get the best angle of it because of all the smoke in the way. But the fact it fell, like, I like that kind of... Now, it depends where it goes, though. If it turns out somehow, if you're going to carry on with the spooky stuff, something else spooky happened, which I think would be a bit too much. But if it's just simply... Well, Fiend. If it's just simply Paul Heyman loosened it, then I'm okay with that, you know, because like that's okay. For me, the top rope collapse isn't the problem. I think I agree with you though, but landed and suddenly not being able to go, you know, like isn't, you know, why can't he do it now? And he just did it. So maybe he used up his last finisher, his last special move on the game, you know, like so to speak. Maybe that's what it is. He hadn't built it up. His momentum, he had to do a few more taunts. I don't know. But yeah, so I disagree in that sense. As far as the reasons, well, what WWE did, and agree with you, Rob, as far as like it doesn't make sense in the logical sense. But like as an entertainment factor, again, like I enjoyed it. I think it was quite just the fact it was different. I've never seen anything like that before, and sometimes that's all I kind of really want from WWE is to just show me something I haven't seen before. But I do get your point that maybe sometimes if it's something like this, then maybe it's best if they didn't show us that. But yeah, I don't know, man. What about you, Dan? What do you think about the whole way it went down? And in a bit, we'll get to the match.
Yeah, I think you know, the amount of people that we've seen go to the top rope, and yet it pings off under a 180-pound man is just a bit far-fetched, really, for me. But yeah, as I say, like nothing really surprises me.
I like it. That's more far-fetched than the revival of Finn Balor. That's the one you're like, nah, don't buy it.
The thing is, it's like, you know, obviously he's a character. That demon character is obviously what we come to expect from Finn Balor. But the fact that, you know, you're asking me to believe that this rope on a wrestling ring is going to just collapse under the weight of somebody that...
When Sheamus had been on the opposite one not long
ago.
No, it's the same. Sheamus was on the same one.
Maybe he weakened it. You know? Maybe that's it.
Possibly. Did Becky Lynch go on that one as well? Because then you'd have had all the Irish people go on the same one.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Unlucky.
Luck of the Irish. Unluck of the Irish.
Unlucky,
third time unlucky,
Whoa, man. I think we've Illuminati figured something out there, guys.
But,
you know what?
Yeah, I think... Go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, if it wasn't the demon, it wasn't Finn as the demon, and... He was able to rise up, and he kind of had a bit of, even if they'd done the noise and like it was kind of rising, getting the demon out of him a bit, no paint, normal match, and then that happened, I would have accepted that and I would not have moaned about the finish. However, the fact that the demon rose, like when Undertaker sits up, you're not knocking him back down again. Like it's how it works.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It's how it works.
I think the thing is, it's awkward because it served its purpose. It did exactly what I think it should have done, which was it genuinely made me think, whoa, I think he might do this. Like I started to genuinely believe that he could do it. Like we had a little bit of doubt, like, are they really going to make the Demon's O go? You know, but yeah, probably it's a shame for that character, but yeah, probably. Oh my gosh, is that your butt?
For once, no.
No, me.
But yeah, it's so it genuinely made me feel like, oh my gosh, I think he might actually do it. So, but then I get that kind of adds to the disappointment of, oh, okay, you super built out. So it's almost like they squeezed the last out of that reign of like he's never been beat to make you think he's gonna do it, you know? So
yeah,
squeeze the reins out of it, you could say.
Hey,
there we go. Yes, it's bloody. It's weird though. Like I think if you're gonna have the demon character and you're gonna build him up in that way, you don't have him bloody lose. Like, or it's one of those things. Don't do the match or do it as Roman versus Finn Balor, not Demon Finn Balor.
Yeah.
But that's what sold, because remember we all this thing in the background of Brock's. Oh, he's obviously going to face Brock with the title.
Yeah.
So I guess that was their a claw at remember the Demons never lost, So they kind of had to.
And they just book themselves into a corner sometimes, don't they? It's like they're probably thinking, oh yeah, what can we do that's going to be quite extreme or like a bit horror-y? Oh, you know what? We've not got Bray Wyatt there as the Fiend anymore. Oh, we've got you do a demon. You do like this character that's stick your face paint on and go out there sort of thing. But yes,
but the thing is, the match was so good, and the finish for me ruined the match. The match was great, the Usos being there, Finn taking them all on, especially when right before he done his magic carp flailing thing.
Which you're still going to do.
Which was...
Why did he not do that after he got speared as well?
I don't know. It's just... It was so well done up to that point. And look, I'll accept the weird convulsion that Finn done, as in okay, the demon's taken over, and then the way he rose and the only thing that irritated me about that was they could have just let the heartbeat play and had the red light and not played his music, as it was just his heart and he was
the music bit was
physically
weird.
Hear it, but even that was like a new touch on it.
Even that, there's a way to do it. Again, it's massively suspending your belief, disbelief. But you could say Finn could have said to the guys in the back, guys, play this music if I'm ever down and out, because it gives me a bit of life. It makes me... But, it's the backwards kind of flailing of the arms and all that. That's a bit And again, I can kind of get that Finn feels like when he puts that paint on, he transforms. He feels that way, and it gives him a boost. It doesn't mean he really is supernatural. Do you know what I mean? So, you can kind of give it the benefit of doubt in that sense. I'm willing to stretch that far. But when you've got literally, there's no explanation for it in the real world. We know someone's pressed play in the back, so just kind of act like that's what happens. Finn he's buddy with the guys in the back because I don't know, even if he made it Adam Pearce, someone who has some sort of authority and control and didn't think it was fair that the Usos kept, and he had an arrangement with Finn. Maybe that's too much to explain, but
it's got to be Finlay, isn't it?
Finlay,
the Irish connection. He managed to just get Becky Lynch into a Royal Rumble that time.
True, there's not much.
Why not just sod it, I'll just press play on this music, mate. That'll do. So
touching on Finn and his music though, coming out with the new headgear, I thought was interesting. And whatever he's wearing, that it looked like a sarong or something, which made me laugh because I didn't know what I should put it as in my notes.
David Beckham.
When I was writing down what it was, I was like, what do I write? So I just went to put, I don't know, like a sarong or something like that. And Pat McAfee was clearly in the same mindset as me because he went, oh, the demon removes
his skirt.
Kill. It's like he clearly halfway through the sentence was like, I don't know what I'm going to call that. His
He's probably waiting for someone to tell him in his ear, what am I meant to call this bloody thing?
He also said it with the number, didn't he? He said, oh, he's had it for 300 and then Cole chimed in with 92 days or whatever it is. So he did he had just done that a few minutes earlier, I think. Which again, why did Roman Reigns come out first?
I don't know. That drives me crazy because normally if you're a challenger, you come out first and it's the anticipation of the champion that really leads it. It's things like that drive me crazy as well. Inconsistencies. But when did you write in your notes? Did you write so wrong?
Nah, I just wrote the quote removes his quote. I went to write it, and then he started speaking. I thought, I'm going to find out what it's called here.
So,
kilt. I was like, sure, I'm going to write that
skirt thing.
I mean, it's definitely not a kilt, but the fact he called it and didn't know what to say, you could tell he didn't know what to say. I was like, I'll just write that down.
Because I thought, he's got a sarong on, and then all of a sudden it reminded me of Lee Evans when he says it's Taiwanese for hide me ass. It just, and then I started laughing. I was like, that's just a bad moment to laugh at that. But yeah, it was a bit weird, wasn't it?
But yeah, what do you think of the match anyway? Let's entrances and exits aside. I thought, like you said, it was a very good match. The crossbody through the table, pretty much a rock bottom from Roman Reigns through a table as well. A very powerful rock bottom. Maybe he's going to start using that a bit more to kind of hint a few things down the line. I like the kendo stick spot and the giant one made by Finn Balor, which the tape even looks like Finn Balor tape, which was cool. I I did find it weird though that the smoke machine was running clearly underneath it, and I wrote that in my notes, and I was like, why is there smoke coming from under the ring? Like, is there going to be a certain weapon he brings out? And that's come out. It was on the far side, the opposite from the camera, where you see the crowd. Like, it was coming out their side and seeping through when Reigns first picked up the apron. But obviously, the reason is because later on there was a huge spot where they needed to use that smoke machine, and I definitely was used too much anyway, because you could barely get the angle right. Unfortunately, other than the replays, you couldn't really see Balor for some of that preparation of the final spot. But yeah, and also Reigns basically being like, nah, I ain't using the table at first was quite funny to me as well. But so yeah, like really, it was a really good match. Again, you can say things about the end, but the match itself, very good. Reigns going in the crowd, putting on his mask as well, which was quite interesting. And yeah, well, yeah, he still performed very well out there, didn't he? So that was interesting. But yeah, I enjoyed the match for the most part.
And it's a match with a red light done quite well as well.
For once,
we've seen some terrible matches. I mean, you've already mentioned the Hell in a Cell match, where people could hardly see anything. But no, I think overall, it was a good match. Obviously, two great performers in there. They worked so well together in the ring there. But yeah, as I say, like finish aside, I thought they both worked well, and the
Usos played a great role in it as well. They're really good as companions to Reigns, man.
Yeah, and Heyman as well. Some of Heyman's like facial expressions as well throughout everything. Like he basically that quartet of people. It's like Heyman with that stable should never work in a million years, but it's that cherry on the icing on the top of that cake, and it adds so much to it. And massive props to Heyman. And I think it was either earlier in this night or on SmackDown, it was like Kayla Braxton was like, oh, so do we know if Brock's going to be here? And he's like, you know as much as I do, sort of thing. And
I was shocked that he didn't show up, but it's because they went on this other route.
So was I. That's why I bonus pointed it, mate. Or said that I think he's gonna. Yeah, I honestly thought he was gonna. I thought that's how, if they were gonna obviously
shenanigan it up.
If they were gonna have someone lose, then it's like obviously they did something with obviously a top rope breaking. But
yeah, for me they have to explain that. I think if they don't, then the moment goes down for me even more, and I kind of join more of Rob's anger in it. And I assume yours as well, Dan. Don't seem the biggest fan of the spot either.
No, they'd probably just sweep it under the carpet.
I just don't know. How can they explain it though?
I wish there was footage of maybe there was because it's so smoky, but maybe they've got Heyman going up there and just messing with it earlier in the night. Or I hope so.
Well, because I know generally they're meant to tighten the ropes up after every match. So maybe they could be like, oh yeah, they actually turned it the wrong way or something.
Yeah, I mean, something was physically done to let the stunt happen, right? So you could physically do a fake reason. I don't know how they pulled it off, but something was physically done while that's being done as a distraction. The fake reason could be done. Like Heyman could have been on the steps, just leaning on it, and even if they get shot from behind and they don't actually get a shot of Heyman doing anything significant because really it's a button someone's pressing or whatever it is, they could have at least got shot of Heyman. So I'm hoping it's something like that, but I do have a bad feeling that they won't.
They're gonna just bypass that. Yeah.
You got to think as well. The next SmackDown is a draft episode, so I doubt they're going to be talking about Extreme Rules much in there. They'll be like, ain't nobody got time for that.
That whole thing, it's all over with. Yeah.
Before you move on, so earlier in the pay-per-view, Heyman was on the phone after the Usos won their match. Who do you think he was talking to? Because it's kind of relevant now. Do you think it was Brock, as you mentioned earlier?
Heyman.
Do you reckon?
I think it was Mrs. Heyman basically saying to him, by the way, I've left the oven on. Can you just open it? And that's what happened. He opened the oven door, and that's what caused all the steam that was underneath the ring.
That makes sense, yeah.
See,
too hot
at least you're giving an explanation. Some sort of
I'll take that explanation.
It's probably better than anything they're going to come up with, to be fair.
I'd rather that than just spooky.
And I've got to say as well, how well as well is Kayla Braxton playing this role backstage of just irritating Paul Heyman as well.
Yeah.
I think he is literally the only guy in WWE that could put over one of the backstage interviewers in such a way.
Yeah,
Like the rest of them are probably just like, oh, they're just there to do their job. Whereas Paul Heyman is like, oh yeah, when he's on the phone, he's like, oh, how do you know it's not a proper journalist sort of thing? Or,
do you think it's going to go somewhere, or if it's just a little bit of fun?
I think it's one of these things. I think they're going to try and get into, like, it's going to try and get into Roman's head sort of thing. It's like, you know, is he going to be on the phone to Brock Lesnar, especially now? I think leading into Crown Jewel as well.
Oh no, sorry, I meant the Kayla stuff.
Oh, the Kayla stuff. Sorry.
Do you think she'll do something? But yeah, probably not.
You know what? I think it may come to a point where, like, he may like leave his phone somewhere and it will ring and she'll answer it or something, and so that's how you'll kind of find out who is actually on.
Well, we'll know if it's Brock, because Brock's ringtone will play.
Yeah. Do you think he's got? Do you think he's got it for every wrestler?
Yeah,
I'd love that. Imagine a Rock and if you're some there.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Hey, Dwayne." But yeah, so
should we do our little Finn impressions competition?
Yeah, let's do our Fish Balor impression.
All right, who's going first?
I'll let you go first because you really look like you want to do it.
I was going to do the heartbeat sound. All right. So someone give me a heartbeat. Hold on, give me a second. Oh, that fly's come back. All right, Rob, it's your turn.
So give me a heartbeat again, and I'll do the next one. Hang on, I'm gonna have to lower me. That's as good as you can.
All right, Dan, it's your turn. Ready?
Oh my god, now go on then. That's as much as you're getting out of me as well.
You're going forward like you're gonna bust into the Thriller dance. Oh, wait.
No.
Oh, well. Oh, that's why.
It sounds like. Do you know what they needed to do? They needed just to add the Alistair Black creak in there.
Maybe go and get up there. Rob looked like he was getting CPR. Well, seeing as that is the intended, well, kind of like intended purpose, is a heartbeat was coming back to life. I think that makes you the winner, Rob.
Didn't get a scene drama for nothing, mate.
Hey!
Mate, I got to see in French. I can't speak a bloody word of it, so shows, doesn't it? I struggle with English half the time. So
for that, I think we need to. Obviously, we're wrapping up. You need to end the stream in as much French as you can.
I thought you meant me then. I was like, no chance.
The amount of French I'll use is petit pois.
You can at least say goodbye. Anyway.
Yeah. Adios.
Well, yeah, all right, whatever.
So, so as we obviously have heard throughout the stream, we do our predictions for each pay-per-view. Obviously, Scott has the trophy there from last year. I currently am in possession of the new one for this year. So let's throw over to the table. Let's go pre-Extreme Rules first to see what change there is. So pre-Extreme Rules, Rob was top on 22, me on 20, Scott on 19, Lucas on 18. After this, Lucas was the only one out of the whole of us that didn't lose a single point, because obviously he was smart and didn't use a bloody bonus point. So he didn't get screwed. The table now sees me sitting at the top on 24, followed by Rob on 23, Scott and Lucas both sitting on 22 points. So I think, you know what? I think the fairest thing for us to do now is just call it a day for this predictions thing. I'll take this. We'll get on out of here and that.
Right, I'd be more confident than that, mate. I think you're doing well. I mean, I'm really scared because we saw last time how little, once I was in front for a long, long time. Yeah. And it's hard once you've slipped up a bit. And I feel like this show has really messed me and Rob about. I mean, again, if we look at the table again, you think about it, right? We lost a point. So me and Rob would have had 24 and 23. And we would have had two more. So Rob would have had 26 and I would have had 25. And that would have been completely different. So,
yeah. I mean, you see, Rob came out of it with 1 point.
Rob.
1 point. That you're in Lucas territory right there, mate.
Look, everyone's allowed a bad day, all right? That's how it works.
I'm going back to Extreme Rules last year. So the horror show at Extreme Rules from 2020. I came out of that with 3 points. You two both came out of it with 4. Lucas came out of it with 2. And that was actually when we knew what stipulations were for the matches. But yeah, so you can thank Vince McMahon for screwing you two out of those bonus points.
I will.
It won't be the first time.
Be at VKM at WWE.com probably. So,
Yeah.
Send all the complaints to there.
But saying that, I've got to mention though, again, having gone, us being able to go to WWE show recently, we can't be too down on Vince and the boys. We really appreciate the hospitality. So as much as we're annoyed about the points, I'll take those free beers again.
The free and the you got some goodies as well.
Kind of made up for it,
you got a nice little bag of swag.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to hear our opinion on that show, actually, check out the build-up show from last night. There is a segment in that where we did spend some time talking about, again, our experiences there and what we think of, WWE having a pay-per-view here coming up in the future as well. So, yeah. Again,
I was in bed by 8 o'clock, so I didn't go to that one. So I leave the adults to go to that. So I think that's pretty much it for Extreme Rules. So I don't know, are we back? If we're back for Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel, I think
for Crown Jewel.
Yeah, I mean we've all kind of said in the group chat. Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, so may as well predict it.
We'll pop up the times as soon as we know when they'll be. But looking forward to it. It's going to be a strange one.
Yeah, definitely. So. Yes, I think with that being said, I think that's probably a good way of us getting out of it, getting out of here and bidding you guys farewell. So for now, that's everything. Take care, guys. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. If you're watching on demand, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Take care, and we will see you all very soon. Take care. Bye.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.